Christian Heritage Ministry was conceived and birthed by two visionary leaders, brought together through the union of marriage by the mercies of God. For many years, Dr. Stanley Okoro and Dr. Iyabo Okoro thought, prayed, and nurtured the different aspects of this ministry individually and as a couple. Having been convinced that it was the Lord's direction for their lives then, they yielded themselves and obeyed Him. As a couple, their resolve in life is to do the Lord's bidding, and that's what they found themselves doing in Christian Heritage Ministry.
Talking about my mentor, talking about the founders, we call them the Okoros. This is a vision from Dr. Stanley Okoro and the wife, Dr. Mrs. Iyabode Okoro. God worked in wonderful manner, not just to connect the two of them, but to also give the vision to them. And at a time when they were not even in Nigeria, the vision was given to them. It became mature right in the US. Pregnant with it, and it was delivered in Nigeria here in the year 1992. So you know now that we need to mark 30. We love them so much. Very, very determined, very, very, how do I describe them?
Actually, Dr. Stan had the vision. His wife joined him, and they studied in the US, and they were planning to stay back. And God told them to go and start working on families in Nigeria. And they were able to get some friends together, and they were sent to Nigeria as missionaries to come and start Christian Heritage Ministries. I'll call them my spiritual parents. And we have so many things in common. Not many, but at least some things in common. And their wedding anniversary is in September. My own birthday is in September. They have 2 kids. The co-founder, that is the vice president, that is, I call her Auntie Iyabo, Dr. Okoro. She went to Queen's School. I attended Queen's School Ibadan. She was at Queen's School earlier. I attended Queen's School Ibadan. But we didn't know. We just came together, and Dr. Stan is a missionary to the core. He loves the word of God. And we too were trusting God that we would do the work of God, but not as pastors or just coming in, and God worked it out.
CHM is the acronym for Christian Heritage Ministries. Actually, when you look at the 7 mountains of influence, the family is about the very foundation of all the other influences. And that's where you find Christian Heritage Ministries, touching the family. We believe so strongly that when the family is okay, the society is okay. Like charity begins where? At home. So everything that has to do with the family, the health, the sweetness, the joy, the everything that will make the family thrive.
Solving family challenges, and then it's like we disciple the family to fit into the society, to influence the society, so that the society will be a better place.
In the year 2011, the pioneer Dr. Stanley Okoro and his lovely wife passed on the baton and retired as the president of the Christian Heritage Ministry. The baton was passed to the present executive director, Pastor Akin Johnson Ibitokun, who is ably supported by his quintessential wife, Mrs. Adebola Ibitokun. From the history of CHM, the present executive director and his wife were the first couples that were counseled and mentored under the CHM marriage scheme. With all sense of humor, you will say they are the first fruit of the ministry that was offered back to God as a sweet sacrifice.
I was not willing or thinking of working with Christian Heritage Ministries. I love them. In a way, I had been behaving like them, having 2 children, and they were my mentors and all that. But then I wanted to make money. So I was in the government, I left government, I was in the private sector, I was a marketing manager. I like to volunteer for them, support the ministry. But God was giving me the nudge. Somewhere along the line, I stopped all of those work and I wanted to concentrate on my poultry farm, make more money, have time for God. And here came the knock on my door. Akin, will you like to pray and work with CHM? Why? It's a journey that gives me a whole lot about divine interventions, divine interruptions, leadings. It was beyond me. She would know that it was beyond her too. We were just preparing. We've been dating, then courting, and we were lovebirds. We wanted to marry 1993. So 1992 we were around, and early 93 we were going around the Japo to our church, and she noticed Christian Heritage Ministries, pre-marital counseling and all that, and said, Akin, please, can we check them out? I said, check what out? We know a lot about marriage and all that. But peeping into her eyes, I knew she wanted us there.
Something different. There is a normal church counseling, and then we
she did
never
it.
see anything come out of it.
I followed her to be there, and we couldn't get out of it.
Like he said, we were just on maybe an evening or afternoon stroll. We were just coming from church, and we just said, I saw the signpost. It just registered something in me that there's something particular and unique that I need to get from this place. And so we just said hi, and we told them we're planning to get married, that we wouldn't mind them to counsel us. And they said, yes, why not? Unfortunately, we happened to be the first couple that they counseled.
And we did not know.
When they came, that was the very first couple they counsel.
They poured themselves fully into us.
They were able to counsel, not like the normal, when we have the church, just give you the theory and all that. They were good enough to share practical examples, experiences, and their own life in the little. They didn't live here, but they were able to give some practical life examples that met my own need and fears. We had them to look at, to see. It's like a mirror that you really want to see your reflection and follow. It was a beautiful experience.
I remember they were taking us, and it wasn't churchy. We were already in the church, and this was so different, so detailed, so correct, so practical. And I was like, what? And we will be given the handouts. It was just awesome. And when we got into the marriage, I kept my own file. She kept hers too. And then we would get into some difficult situations. Sometimes in the night, I would sneak out of the bedroom to go and look at, what do I do now about it? I mean, such was the practicality and the beauty. Very comprehensive. We love them. We're in an environment where culture does not embrace counseling. Our culture says, whatever you have done, keep it to yourself. You are getting married, I'm not expecting you back at home, just die there if you need to. And we know that that is not God. Now, we are here to make marriage attractive. And you will agree with me that there are lots of marriages all over the place, including marriages of pastors and leaders of churches that are stinking. But we not just go cultural to say, no, we know what we are doing. We also go pseudo-spiritual. Mark my word, pseudo-spiritual. In the sense that somebody is in pains and you ask him, how is your marriage? It is well. Well with pains? Well with something that can be handled? You are sick. Somebody is busy violating you. The marriage has become a violent whatever. How are you doing? No, it is well. And those kind of things, we see it clearly in our system. But bit by bit, things are changing. Now, this is a time of knowledge, and not just knowledge. When you see people who are very practical with life and who can hold confidentiality in place, you open up. And so when people come to us in counseling and discover that these are people of integrity, what they say is what they do, and they are not going to go and then share it in one church or the other, they feel free.
Usually, everybody have reservations. It's like you don't want to let out your secret. And then many people are silent and they suffer and die in silence. We encourage couples, even when you are 20, 30, 15 years into your marriage, to speak out on a particular problem. Nobody knows it all, but you can just come up. But I want you to know that your secret is kept secret here. It's not what we go out to shout about or talk about. We encourage you to come in, say whatever you want to say, and you know that you are confidential with whatever you share with us. We also go into group counseling. We do get age group, marriage age groups that are probably between 1 and 5 years. There's something that happened around that time, getting used to your spouse and all that. So we encourage them to talk, speak out, and from there, 1 or 2 or 3, so you two are going through this. It's like once you talk, then we come, wrap it up, and then you know, okay, you didn't come to me and say, hello, sir, see my husband, when he sleeps, he snores. How can I handle that? But you say, so your wife also snores. So how do you handle it? I make a rhythm out of it, and then we talk about it or how to manage it. So we do that too. We also do older couples. When a couple is difficult, one of them will keep talking. We give it a long time, and then once you have your phone number, I can chat to you, just become your friend for no reason. I say, that's good and all that. One day, you will talk about your problem, but we keep praying for you.
And when Christian Heritage Ministry is not even asking you to come and pay, because there's a whole lot of challenge of poverty in the system.
There are so many other marital counseling outfits that now charge money. As good as 20K online, you don't even see eyeball to eyeball. Some of them give you time, fill a form and all that. But we don't do that because it's not because we don't
not because we don't need
not
money.
the God has us to do. And so if you know we are here and we are not going to take money from you, why don't you open up? Because some people say when it is free, it's not it. But many people that know that when it is free, it is it. Then you do. So if you now go and you feel that there's something you need to give to the ministry, why not? It's not going to go to our personal.
The day I will never forget, honey, was the day a young man entered into this office and said, "Sir, I need counseling." And
how much am I getting?
He stood and looked around, and I'm like, "What's the problem?" He said, "I don't know how much you will charge me." And I said, "Please be seated. I'm not going to charge. Calm down. I'm not going to charge you anything." And he sat. He described himself, and he described how turbulent his life had been. He's been into drugs. He's been into all manner of immoralities and all that. By the time we ended our discussions, he gave his life to Christ. That was the person I would have lost if I was looking for money. By the time he left my office, I didn't know what to do. I quickly looked around and I saw this New Testament Bible. I gave him one. He looked at it again, looked at me, he started shedding tears. I was watching him as he was going. He got to the signpost. He waited. He was reading it. He went away, looked back. I knew truly he gave his life to Christ. So it's not just about marriage, but that the glory of the Lord.
The vision of Christian Heritage Ministry is to see every Nigerian Christian utilize biblical principles in building their families and other areas of their Christian lives, then teach these principles to others throughout Nigeria and the uttermost part of the world. The ministry that will fulfill this vision in our minds must be comprehensive in character and biblically sound. It must be able to teach the proportional truth of the Word of God, as well as integrate that truth in everyday living. The Christian Heritage Ministry has been around since 1992, and they have been a mega blessing to hundreds of families across the globe.
Well, thank God for CHM. Since we got in contact with CHM, and the impact is not just something we can really express. It is spiritual. One, from the very first time we fell in love with CHM, something just glued us together with CHM, and the love, the teaching, the practical teaching. It makes you to live a practical life as a man, as a woman, and you organize your home, your marriage. It's just too practical.
When it comes to my marriage, honestly, it's been God through CHM. It's been God through CHM.
CHM has been like a solution center to us. Anytime you have issues, just like my husband has said, a place you go to service yourself, to awake that love, that inspiration in you that may want to slip away, maybe because of things you are passing through and all of that. And I have this testimony. There's no time we come here, or even personally, at times I come alone, not with my husband, and you go back without everybody. There's a way they douse that tension for you, and with the advice, you know that no, I can go back confidently to face whatever challenge we are going through. So it has been a solution center for us, for our own.
The Christian Heritage Ministry has designed a yearly program that helps to bring families together for impact. The programs are as follows. Premarital counseling. This is an avenue where we prepare intending couples for a great marriage through counseling sessions with those who know what it takes to succeed using biblical principles. Marital counseling. This is a medium in which married people passing through different challenges find solutions to their various needs. Celebration of love. This platform presents singles with opportunity to gather together every 14th of February to listen to godly alternative ways to celebrate their love life and receive godly counsel on relationships. Men's retreat. This is an opportunity for men to get inspired and to confidently take their place in their families, marketplace, churches, and society in general as leaders. It also provides the opportunity for young men to learn from successful older men who have gone through what they may be experiencing. Teens Camp. The Teens Camp brings young people aged 13 to 19 together to learn and know what it means to represent God in their generation and refuse to be part of the world in a rapidly changing world. Mother-Daughter's Breakfast. This is an inspiration gotten from Titus chapter 2 verse 2 to 5, where older and godly women are encouraged to teach the younger ones to obey their husbands and increase in virtue. Father-Son Summit. Father-Son Summit promotes cordiality, mentoring, and good leadership at home. Family Enrichment Conference. This is a getaway from the busy schedules of work to enable couples rejuvenate their marriage. Seminars and workshops in churches and fellowships. CHM is open to invitations from churches and fellowship groups to discuss and teach on issues relating to the family. Couples Aglow. This is CHM's new move to check up or follow up on the couples already counseled for marriage. It is our way of reigniting the flame of love. Family Heartbeat. This is a radio program that addresses issues bordering around the entire family's lives. This affords thousands of people to learn at the same time in places CHM cannot access.
Well, every of CHM's programs excites me. But the one that stands out, which I always look forward to by the grace of God, is the 3 days Family Enrichment Conference.
That goes for the family. It goes for the family. There are other
And of
programs.
course, the mother-daughter program. I look forward to it because I have the opportunity of bringing the younger ones, the younger sisters, the younger daughters. It's the mother-daughter thing. So they also partake, and even when I don't have the time to come, you'll be surprised. They want to come and they find their way to come. That's how impactful CHM could have been.
In a world where there are a lot of families with challenges, it is beautiful. I think our generation is blessed with a ministry and a family that can show you what the ideal should look like. And that is, for me, a summary of how CHM has been a blessing to me. In the sense that they model what a Christian life should look like. And many times when there are things I need to ask, there are people you can come up to and ask questions. I remember after I got married, they had some challenges. I came up to them, Daddy, what do you think about this? Or this is my experience, Mommy, this is my experience. Does this happen to everybody, or is this peculiar to me? This is, so there are people that you can come to, and you know that whatever it is you are getting is solid and it's practical.
We have challenge of supporters. People that will support the ministry. Like we will say, if you want to consistently support us with 500 naira every month, you know that what that will be.
Mm-hmm.
If it is 1,000 naira, if it is 50, but people just give once and they leave. So to keep the consistency of supporters has been a major challenge. Recently, we are doing a crusade of support CHM with how much?
With 20,000 naira per month.
From January to December.
A whole lot of people come to us also. It's like, okay, they must have a pipe somewhere where money comes to them. And it is not true. People that believe in us, who God has touched their heart, they give willingly. We don't claw the money. We allow them to see. And it's such a faith journey. And it's such a challenge also. Now, you can see the challenge this way. For people who recognize what we do, we are just different. The uniqueness is just there. They come to our office, a big office, and even you may be tempted. They have so much money. So the willingness to even give is reduced.
I remember there was a time we were supposed to pay salary, and we didn't have enough. And asked me how much do we need? Just 1,000.
We needed 1,000 naira for us to raise a check.
1,000 naira to raise a check for staff salary. But like say we are faith-based, that we had a staff with us before. So we asked people to just give. Even 500 naira is okay. That lady, wafer in
Benue
State, said she was just moved by the Holy Spirit to support CHM with that. It's 1,000 naira. She has worked as a desk officer before. And just this 1,000, she said, I'm going to send it. I'm just
and that was all we were needing to pay salary.
And the 1,000 naira came in at the nick of time. Come and see joy as it was a million naira. So those are some of the things, challenges, but since we say we are faith-based, God has always been faithful.
The ministry's home office is situated at number 19 Imade Street, Ijako Estate, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria. In the year 2010, the first multi-purpose building was completed and commissioned. This building houses the office of the Executive Director and the Administrative Director, counseling rooms, and a mini hall. The ministry has taken a further step to build a lodge that will help families and couples that want to get away from the hustle and bustle of life to have a quality retreat. And it will also be used for CHM programs.
Thank God the world is global. I still want us to go more into the advantage of ICT and all that. I don't want to social media, more on the space, more on the clouds, so that at least if I don't see you one-on-one, a lot of people really don't like to show their face when they have need for counseling. So I can also buy a window, and then you can call in, we'll talk. And if you need a deeper counseling, then we can give it a physical one. Actually, we have a studio we're supposed to be building there, but it's still just empty. We like to do more on the globe. But the vision in the next 5 years also is that we will have, we expand our office. We write, we have books, we do a lot of that, but much more so, we like to be global. We want to do more in the cloud.
Up to 90% of people in Nigeria today, they are less than age 55. And a whooping 60% are less than age 26. So I tell myself that if we are having a ministry that we go from this generation to another generation, we have to know that generation. We cannot affect a generation we don't know. ICT, every of those media platforms, we want to explore it and get live to stamp down all the kind of terrible things happening in that world. The ministry is going to be 30 and our marriage is going to be 29. I'm still falling in love with this baby. That's one thing that I'm just so excited. You say he's just touching me. Please, we can touch it more.
Goodwill to CHM at 30. You know, naturally, if you look at a man, a human being standing, and you ask, how old are you? Said, I'm 30. Or you look at a lady, how old are you? I'm 30. You know, there's a way you expect, there are certain things you expect to hear and to see. You know, before CHM, got to this level, we have seen, a under 20 manifesting virtues that a 40, 50-year-old, will manifest. You understand? So we trust the Lord that CHM will, of course, CHM will get better.
Amen.
Expand.
Amen.
We are expanding.
Yes.
We will yet expand.
Amen.
And thank God, CHM is not localized. So God is expanding, the vision, the horizon.
Amen.
And so we expect that God will help us to accommodate more of God.
Amen.
The more of God we're able to trap, the more, we will enlarge.
Amen.
So we expect that God will cause CHM to gain root deeper in Christ.
Amen.
And bear more fruit upward for the kingdom.
I would advise every young couple or intending couples to not to be far from CHM, because we can't know it all, and there is a saying that what an elder sees while standing up, a child cannot see it, even if he climbs on top of an iroko tree. So staying close to people that have been or they are still on the journey and are doing fine would help you. When you have issues, you have people that will talk to you out of experience and not theoretical.
CHM is a place you need to be before you're married, and after you are married, it's a place to keep the fire going in your home. While you feel like you're at your best, and you see other people who are taking it further, who are still in love, who are still on fire for themselves. When you see people like that, you get pumped up to do better.